Well, some of it is around, for example, having further information about what the assessment criteria will be, etc., and when that support will kick in.
So will you bring forward concessions?
And we will be.
But to be clear, the Rebels aren't worried about the out-of-work benefits. They're worried about the disability benefits, which you can have when you're in work, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to lose out. I mean, do you think hundreds of thousands of people are claiming disability benefits who are not really disabled?
No, what we're saying, though, is that the welfare system has to be able to have longevity. It has to improve into the future. Far too many people at the moment are finding themselves not being given the support they need. I'm really angry at the amount of people that have been in work poverty, and that is a real scandal. Is that
but work used to disability benefits
pay, and
off a
that
lot
doesn't.
Of those
but what
people.
we want to do is increase secure work for people, so that it's not just one lever. There's a number of things this government is doing, including making sure people have access to health, which we've already given over 2 million more appointments in the NHS, the support that they need when they need it, and also the welfare system that's there when they need that.
Rayner talks a lot about common goals, but she doesn't provide any real changes. The numbers on the back bench still seem bad. Make sure you like and subscribe.
And we will be continuing to have those discussions as we are to reassure them that the aims of what that amendment says around making sure that we support people through the welfare reforms in the way that is our Labour values, but also making sure that people are aware that that support will be in place for people who need it the most.
So what concessions could you offer them? Could you delay plans? Wouldn't you rather that came from taxes than from taking disability benefits off people?
Well, again, we can't. If you look at the numbers and the projections, having more and more people, we've seen, vast majority of our young people written off at a young age that are not in education and training and not given opportunities.
The question was about the taxes, though.
I don't want that.
Would you like to go further on tax?
I answered the question on tax. We have raised taxes.
So you wouldn't like to go further than that?
Rachel, as the Chancellor, set out in the budget tax rises which allowed us to invest billions of pounds into our infrastructure that's been crumbling for years, into our industrial strategy so we get the jobs of the future, into homes and into our failing public services because of what the Tories have done for 14 years. We're fixing the foundations so that we can give people good work, good lives.
Team Starmer keeps all of its negotiation chips off the air, even when there are rumours of fiscal leaks.
It is a sort of extraordinary rebellion because it's second reading, it's to try to kill the bill. I mean, surely people have to lose the whip if they go ahead and vote for that.
Well, again, we're in discussions with Labour MPs about some of the concerns that they have.
The thing they were upset about is the disability benefit, which you can have if you're in work.
I understand that you can get disability benefits when you're in work, but there's also challenges with people getting access to appointments, to support when they need it the most, making sure they've got accessibility so they've got adaptations when they need it, making sure there's secure employment, making sure there's flexibility. We're tackling all of those issues so people can live better lives and with the support at the right time.
Ultimately, you want to save billions of pounds, and I think what a lot of your colleagues are saying to us is there are other ways to raise that money, and we know that you've suggested some of those other ways to the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. You've suggested tax increases. Are you frustrated that she's not considered that?
Well,
neither side can say for sure if the rising PIP rolls are due to real necessity or loose standards. They merely have duelling data. Make sure you like and subscribe.
It's not very clear on the strike itself.
For negotiations and making sure that we have peace in the Middle East, and we're very clear on that, and including the deteriorating situation in Gaza as well and the West Bank, making sure that we have a ceasefire, those hostages are released, and that we can get the humanitarian aid into that region. It's a very, very volatile time, so we want de-escalation. What I want to see is de-escalation there. What we've been really clear on is Iran can't have nuclear weapons.
So do you support that strike?
We are absolutely clear that Iran can't have nuclear weapons. The Prime Minister has set out very clearly the government's position, and that's that we want to see Iran get back round the table.
Do you agree with Donald Trump that we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the F they're doing?
The Deputy Prime Minister is trying to balance a hardline stance against nuclear weapons with a pro-peace one, which makes the real raid unclear.
We've obviously ingratiated ourselves to him as well. Do you agree with that way of dealing with him?
Well, look, I don't agree with language around school children or daddies or anything like that. I believe in respecting people's elected position. Not everyone often agrees with me being in my elected position, but I'm here and I'm here to do a job, and I think people should go about that job seriously, especially when it comes to politics, because people entrust you with their
So
vote.
language matters with this sort of stuff.
So I think language does matter, and I also think actions matter as well, and anything that we can do to work around making sure we have a peaceful future where, you know, if you look at the US economy, if you look at the UK economy, people at the moment are fed up. They feel like they can't get a home, they can't get a good job, and they feel a cost of living, and therefore working with our allies, including in Europe and the US, is what we're trying to achieve to affect British lives here. And that's why we've done the trade deals, and that's why we're fixing our foundations here in the UK to give people those opportunities.
Just a final one. I'm leaving the country for a few years, having spent 20 years covering Westminster. I've fed up of waiting for a female Labour leader. Do you think by the time I get back there'll be one?
You might have to wait and see, you know.
Rayner doesn't want to be seen as a transatlantic diva, but she doesn't say if she'll be the one to smash Labour's glass ceiling.
Could you reduce the points that you need to get disability benefits?
Well, I'm not going to get into that on your show tonight. Those discussions are ongoing around making sure that the welfare reforms that we're bringing in support people into work who need that, and we've put in a huge amount of investment into doing that, but also protecting the most vulnerable. And I think this is really important because a lot of people are very scared about these changes. I haven't changed my Labour values, and we're not expecting our benches to do anything that isn't in check with them. What we want to do is support people, and that is the crucial bit around these reforms and what Labour are trying to achieve, and we're discussing that with our MPs.
But to be clear, the Rebels aren't worried about the out of work benefits. They're worried about the disability benefits, which you can have when you're in work, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to lose out. I mean, do you think hundreds of thousands of people are claiming disability benefits who are not really disabled?
No, what we're saying though is that the welfare system has to be able to have longevity. It has to improve into the future. Far too many people at the moment are finding themselves not being given the support they need. I'm really angry at the amount of people that have been in work poverty, and that is a real scandal. Is that
But you are going to take disability benefits off a lot of those
But what we
people.
want to do is increase secure work for people, so that it's not just one lever. There's a number of things this government is doing, including making sure people have access to health, which we've already given over 2 million more appointments in the NHS, the support that they need when they need it, and also the welfare system that's there when they need that.
It is a sort of extraordinary rebellion because it's second reading, it's to try to kill the bill.
Rayner is not in control by not making deals in public, but backbenchers are getting bolder. Planning revolts now happens in broad daylight, while concessions stay completely off camera. Rayner is dealing with rebellion triage, welfare maths, and the Middle East's lack of clarity while dodging questions on taxes, Trump, and her own plans to become a leader. Asthana's questioning shows a pattern, replies that are full of principles but lack specifics. Let us know what you think down below in the comments.